Well, Paul, thank you for joining me. You're going to be talking me through all the ways we can connect with family, with friends, while on our phones, while watching TV. And for me, you're the perfect man to talk about this because me and my girlfriend, we argue like cat and dog over the TV, whether it's me wanting to watch football, her wanting to watch Friends for the hundredth time. But we all managed to come together for Celebs Go Dating. So thank you very much for being the guy to talk me through this.
I tell you what, it is an honor to be here. Can I say, so I love all British television, right? Gogglebox, which premiered tonight, right? It's back. Celebs Go Dating, Married at First Sight as well. Right? I'm a big fan of all of these shows, so I can't wait to dig into it with you.
I mean, something you talk about so regularly is the law of proximity. And when you're with your partner, you're sat there, you're watching TV, you're spending time together. So it's important that that time is valuable.
Oh yeah, you know what? That is proximity is everything, and the reason why is because the more proximate you are to someone, so the closer you are to someone, literally, the higher chance you have of falling in love with them. And what I love about this new campaign that I'm doing with Three, right, who's one of the sponsors for Gogglebox, is that they've come up with these phonisms. And one of them is called couple strollers. So that is that you are sitting next to each other on the couch watching TV, right? You're watching the football match with your girlfriend, right? And you are both on your phone. And historically, we thought that was a bad thing. But now, through three surveys, we found out it's actually a good thing.
Most certainly is because, off first glance, you'd suspect that perhaps being on your phone while next to your girlfriend, it would potentially provide a distraction. But in actuality, 44% of couples bond over this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know the numbers, James. You
Oh,
know
I
the
know the numbers, Paul. I know the
numbers.
numbers.
Yeah. And the reason why, it's interesting to look at the reason why. And I think the reason why is that we're using phones in new ways. And what we're using them for is as devices to connect. And I think historically we thought that it's a distraction, but it's actually not. It's a tool to connect. It's very important that we understand that.
It most certainly is, and something that perhaps surprised me because people associate phones potentially with mind-numbing topics, perhaps like scrolling TikTok, where you've got these short form videos. But when people watch interesting programs that provide some historical benefits, they then after the show go on and research these and expand their knowledge.
Yeah, they do. But also too, if you do the mindless TikTok, which my wife and I do sometimes, you do the mindless TikTok, it's cool because ultimately, if you are connecting on the topic, right? Because through the campaign, we found out that nearly half of all couples use the phone to connect on particular topics. So if you are connecting in an interest, whether it's you're watching people dance on TikTok, or you're researching the law of proximity, which I know you're doing, right? If it's either of the two, it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
And something else that we do after finishing our programs, we all bond obviously. We've got, for example, shows that run week in, week out, whether it be, I don't know, The Sopranos or Dexter or reality competitions like The X Factor, The Challenge, etc., stuff like that. We then contact our loved ones to get their opinions on the matter.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I started at the tops talking about Gogglebox. Gogglebox really is one of my favorite shows. And it's really wild because you think that you're watching TV, you're watching people on TV, watching people on TV. It's very meta, you know what I mean? But what I often find is that I'm researching the shows and the people that they're watching. And what's great about that is that it's showing that we can use our devices for connection and for being informed. And I think that's ultimately the point here is that it's not bad to second screen, which is using your phone while watching TV.
And looking at one of the negatives, because we've all been here when we're watching a show and perhaps we've paused it to go make a tea or make something like that, and then we get something spoiled for us, and it's possibly one of the worst moments. Maybe it's the end of a big series or something like that. I mean, have you ever had a moment like that? Because 15% of the people in this free UK survey reported that.
Yeah. All right. So that happens, but that's the reason why, according to these phonisms, right, that Three's created, I am more of the text door neighbor, right? And the text door neighbor is one of the archetypes, and that is that I like to actually watch by myself in a room and then text people who are also in the house. So I'm not distracted at all. Like I'll lock my door. Don't come in. Like if I'm watching, by the way, I started watching football. I'm about to pick my football team
Oh
here.
wow, wow. Who have you got in
Yeah.
mind? Have you got any teams in mind?
I don't know. I don't want to say it, James. But I'm thinking. I'm leaning towards some teams. I'm leaning towards some teams.
Well, I've got one for
And,
you. There's a smaller city in the northwest of England called Preston, and they'd be more than happy to have you as a supporter.
Would they?
Preston North End, get it googled. We're a lovely city, and they'd love to have you on board, Paul.
Okay, I'm going to use my. Actually, I'm going to second screen right now while we're talking. I'm going to look up. I'm going to look up Preston City, and I'm going to take my boys to a game, Preston City, and I'm going to try. What are they? Preston City. Oh yeah,
Preston
football club.
North
There it
End.
is.
Preston North End's the
Preston
one.
North End. Preston North End. Okay. All right. All right.
And,
I'm going to take my boys to a game. Look, I just second screen. See, right there as we're talking.
and that proves that this works, Paul. And I'm
That's
delighted that,
proof.
you've given me Celebs Go Dating and I've given you Preston North End.
Look at that. Even exchange.
Absolutely. And looking through the research some more, I didn't realize all the different things in terms of these phonisms because we've got so many different subgenres of people from the loudspeaker, the couple scrollers, the monologuers. So could you talk me through all those different variations?
Oh man, there's so many variations, right? I think everyone should go to three, right? THREE.co.uk/blog to see what your phonism is. But I will say that I am five of these. All right. I'm five of these. I talked about how I'm the text door neighbor, right? And I'm also the textrovert. And that is the person who is like, look, don't call me, right? Don't send me voice. Don't do anything while I'm watching this show. And I will text you back, right? But don't interrupt me. And going back to football is with World Cup, man, I was, because I'm American, started supporting England in the World Cup, right? Love England, and all my American friends were, and I was like, don't even don't text me right now. Like I'm watching England, right? Don't mess with me.
And something I want to ask you about before I get your closing statement on this. I love watching masters of the craft at work. So in the dating world, obviously we've got yourself in terms of gurus. We've got Muhammad Ali in boxing, Jimi Hendrix on the guitar, Lionel Messi in the world of football. But somebody who's on Celebs Go Dating, he's been on quite a few series. We've got Pete Wicks, who's a master in the art of dating, and he's like a wizard. I've been all watching him. He's incredible as far as I'm concerned. And when I think him and Gary Lucy went for the same girl in an early episode of Celebs Go Dating, I thought, wow, that's a brave move from Gary Lucy to go toe to toe with what is essentially a shark of the dating world. But perhaps he could learn a thing or two and develop his connections by developing some of these phonisms and by working on the law of proximity.
Oh my God! Can I say, Jay, that was eloquent, right?
Thank you.
First
Thank
off,
you.
first off is you've matched me, right? You put me in the same category as Muhammad Ali, Jimi Hendrix. Like that, that is like, oh my God, you're my bestie, right? But then also is Gary Lucy, right? And Pete Wicks are two of my best buddies. Literally just talked to Gary this week. They are phenomenal, and Pete is notorious on the dating scene, but he still needs work. He still needs work, He still needs some work.
So perhaps he still soak up some words of wisdom from yourself, like a dating sponge. But thank you for joining me, Paul. It's greatly appreciated. I know you've got loads more interviews coming up, so I'll let you crack on with them. But before I let you go, is there anything that you would like to add that I perhaps haven't asked about?
The only thing I want to say is I wish you and your girlfriend the very best. The very best. I love it. I love that you talked about her. I love that you're showing that emotion towards her. So keep doing that.